congratulators, what's up? If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Ultimate Psychology channel. I'm Xavier Garcia, creating awesome videos to cure all your life, right? We got a lot of things to be curing these days, right? Especially with the coronavirus. Everybody's in quarantine, and we're all freaking out, we're all stressing out. How are we going to do this? How are we going to survive? How are we going to get through this as a society, a community, and how are we going to get through this thing as a community, as a family, and as if you're living single, as an individual. So I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about how to survive and thrive during the quarantine times, during this this pandemic. And so it's been tough, it's rough. I'm following social media, following my Facebook account, checking out primarily there because that's where mostly there's a little bit more social interaction there. And people are hunkering down. For the most part, we're a prosperous nation, and there's some people that are a little bit more sticky than others, and it might just be the people that I have a small circle of community on Facebook. It's just mostly friends. There's like 200 people on there, family, relatives, and so we're pretty much safe. But I am also involved in other groups where these are people outside of my family, and I'm seeing how their lives are adjusting. And one woman posted about her sister, and she got the virus, and it's very rough and it's very difficult and aggressive, and she actually got through it, but it's just not something you wish on your worst enemy, so to speak. And so but I've had this past week an opportunity to experience the actual quarantine myself. I knew off the bat, theoretically, textbook knowledge on what to do and how to prepare during tough and rough times. Again, as I said in the last video, I lived in a tool shed, a Home Depot tool shed for about 5 to 6 years. And that was kind of my quarantine experience. And so this is not new to me. How I live now, this is just like surplus, living high on the hog. And so it's given me a chance to go through that. I've gone through rough seasons of my life, and just like most of you guys have. And so take time for reflection on like what you've been through, what you've gone through, right? And hopefully you've come out bigger and better from it, or even if you're grizzled and battle tested, that this is just another thing to go through, and it is new, it is real. You could catch it, right? We're trying to mitigate the spread of it, and it is hyper contagiable, but do your part, wear your masks, wash your hands. It's the least you can do, and try to keep that social distancing and that community mitigation intact. Don't go out if you don't have to, and do your best. But this is a time to actually like survive and thrive more than ever. There's more people on social media during this time, so there's a lot more time for interaction, especially for you people out there. I think typically somebody who's going to be watching this, you guys are a little bit more advanced and more aware and knowing what's up. You guys are survivors. You guys are thrivers already as it is. It's very few of you, maybe one or two of you that's not that way. You guys are young. You're new to life. You're not even know how to do adulting, and yet so the world is still big and scary. But this is a trial. This is a tribulation. This is a challenge for you to get through. And pressure creates diamonds. And when you squeeze an orange juice, you concentrate it, you get orange juice. So lemons into lemonade, and it produces the finest people. And again, only the strong survive. So if you're coming to a channel like this, you're a thriver, you're a survivor, and you want to take your life to the next level, or just get yourself up to a place, a standard of living where you feel strong, you feel confident in yourself and your abilities to live life, to have a life and survive, to go forward, to have a vision, to have goals, to have priorities. Get it all together, okay? Because we want to be thriving. This thing is going to pass. This too shall pass. And we're going to come out of this. But again, going back to my personal real experience of, I had, because I'm an essential worker. I'm currently seen as an essential worker in my day job, my 9 to 5, what I do Monday through Friday. But I did get to have some administrative leave because I have my daughter, and so we got to spend the week together, right? Next week is her spring break, so she gets to have no work, but this was the last week of school that her and I spent time. But she's a superstar student, and so you just put whatever agenda that we had for her, she just mowed it down. She got that Mamba mentality. She doesn't rest until she's finished. She rests at the end not not when she's tired, right? So, however the expression goes, Kobe's my dude, it's my big brother. May you rest in peace. And so we got through that, but then, as expected, right? There's not normal life anyways. We have challenges that come up, and we deal with those things, or we just to one lesser of a degree or another, right? That's effective or not. And so we had challenges, things, because we don't, my daughter and I, we don't actually get that much time together. We have our morning routine, and and it's routine, so we have to keep it systematic, and it's very mechanical. But we try to infuse as much heart and emotion and a human element to it, because this is our special time, and so we have to make the most out of it. And of course, our relationship is more important than her being late to school or me being late to work, because it's about people first. But at the same time, we want to have the best of both worlds and have our cake and eat it too. And so we want to win the morning every single morning. We have a routine, and we do it successfully, which is like a winning team. And that's the way I try to see things, is like back when the Warriors, when they were on, making the NBA basketball team, they were winning. We want every day to be a win. You can structure it however you want. Ideally, when you take some time to see how your life plan would go, your daily schedule, your flow would go. You set your priorities. You have your not to-do list, things that you want to put on for later, things you're going to get accomplished today. And of course, things don't always go according to plan, but then you make the necessary adjustments. And sometimes things get difficult. Some things don't happen at all, and you got to cut your losses and move forward. But back to the relationships. This is a beautiful time, because we recently took the 5 love languages quiz. If you haven't taken it, take it. It's not the end all and be all, but it's a beautiful reference point to get to know yourself better and to help understand how you can communicate with knowing your strengths, knowing that people are not like you. We have different personality types, and there's multiple personality types you can take, but this was a big one, a popular one, and one that is has, it's kind of like a one-size-fit-all. Like, it's for general purposes, and it works effectively. So we found out, I didn't know what hers was going to be. I was like, keep praying to God, not to use his name in vain, but like praying like that she's not that she's not one who requires acts of service, because I'm really about self-reliance and self-improvement and doing it for yourself. And of course, that would be the case. Then you got to find the balance between, okay, so if she loves, she receives love, and she interprets love as an act of service. Some people might like gifts, spending quality time, physical touch, or words of affirmation, right? And so, but she's not acts of service. So good, because Daddy likes self-reliance, and you can do it yourself. But there is a certain point where, there's only so much you can expect from an 8-year-old. And there is also, too, like, just because that's not your primary love, her primary love, that doesn't mean that I don't do acts of service for her, right? We want to lavish her with all the 5 love languages. And at the same time, balance that in so that she's not spoiled, right? And I do consider myself a pampered husband, but there is a point where you have to respect the person who's loving you, and that you reciprocate, and then you express the gratitude, so that they don't feel like they're being taken, like it's going in vain or being taken advantage of. So, but her and I, her love language, her dominant love language is quality time. So we got to spend a lot of quality time together. And there was a couple hiccups in our relationship where it took a while for us there were sticking points, and we had to get through those things. And it required deeper communication than we've ever had, conversations, because we've had the time to. And it allowed things to bubble up to the surface that we were able to address. And, not just put a Band-Aid on it, but cure it, right? And so it was a beautiful experience. And I think we were a happy family already, but this helps us be happier in all terms and senses of the word. So, like in totality. So I want to encourage you, if you're a stay-at-home person, and whatever relationship that you're in, or whoever's with you, these things are coming up, and they probably already come up, because if you've been home for already a while, you could be pulling your hair out, because it can be that stressful. But, detach, separate, take a breather, find the silver lining, and pursue that. This is an opportunity to heal those relationships, or those blind spots that we haven't been able to see. Some people you can tell what kind of person you are the way you're looking at your spouse or how you're interpreting things. And it's an opportunity for you to adjust those skills and kind of make the shift into allowing it to be an opportunity to draw closer if it doesn't break you, right? And so, but it won't. Obviously, you guys have growth mindsets. You're individuals with who want advancement in your life, and so really hone in on that. And yeah, you can binge on the Netflix or whatever like that, but use this as a time for self-growth and self-improvement. I can't, and I might be preaching to the choir to you guys about this. And I know myself just for personal example, because I'm reaping the benefits. I'm being fruitful in this area of my life, and I want to share that with you so that you can experience it back, and we can all just be, living well together. Don't let this go to waste. So my wife and I were expecting to expect, right? We want to conceive as soon as possible. Right now it's all green lights, and so whenever that magic moment happens, then it's going to happen. And so the miracle. And so what am I reading? I'm having preparation, hard work and preparation. I'm reading like this 600-page book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, the 5th edition. And it's deep, it's heavy, and it's the mother lode of knowledge. They call it the Bible of pregnancy, the pregnancy Bible. And so, but I'm loving it. I'm growing, and I'm like, this is just so love. I'm immersed in it, and I'm experiencing the personal growth. So look around in your world today. If you know you're being laid off from work, if you're just having a hiatus, right, that you use this time, I'm going to double up my efforts here, to invest in yourself and to use this time to be productive. Same thing with my wife and the relationship and having the dynamics of me and my wife and my daughter. This has allowed for more communication to come out where there's more clarity about meeting our deepest needs, our deeper needs. If we're not, already a family who does that already anyways, but it just allows for more. So now there's more love in the home. There's like, we feel like there's safety bubble around us. And I just hope and I pray that you guys are experiencing the same thing too, by allowing these things to develop, by investing in them and pursuing them, and being creative, being resourceful, and find out how you can serve each other to have a happy time, because a happy-go-lucky time. You can use this time to improve your sex life, and again, you can have entertainment, have those things, but don't just fall with gravity, which is the most likely thing that you're to do, which is human nature, right? We're going to go down and just be all slovenly and like, whoa, right? Remember those Budweiser commercials? They're like, wah. So we don't want to get there. You can have a day or two of that, but then get back on your horse and grind and go for it. Really go for your self-improvement, your self-education. Invest maybe in an online course. Find opportunities where you can still have social engagement, social connection with others, with, like going live on one of your social platforms, setting up a Zoom calls. I think you only get 40 minutes if you're using the free account. You can go to Google Hangouts, which is not as fancy, but it allows you, it's unlimited time. I just did one of those with my Bible study class. So there's lots of stuff that you can do to engage in. A lot of the world, depending what kind of demographic you're in or just what kind of person you are, you might be hesitant or be scared to put yourself out there. But you can do this with family, and you can just start doing it, because we are going into the age of where, especially because this has kind of forced us to do this, that we're going to go more online more than ever before. We're in the information age, and we have this technology that allows us to be like in two places at once, right? I don't have to leave my house. I don't have to fly across the country or around the world for us to have a communication, to cut a deal. We can make transactions, via Skype or whatever platform that you're using that are available to us. So use these at your disposal. And these times, these rough economic times, they can be times for your greatest prosperity. Because when everybody's getting fearful and running like jumping over the cliff, you want to go the opposite direction and capitalize. Not that you're taking advantage of anyone's misfortune, but that you're having you see it as opportunity to serve. Because we're all here to do that. In some ways you're lacking. That's their opportunity to serve, and vice versa. So use this as an opportunity for growth and contribution. That's pretty much it. That's what I'm here to share. It's kind of more of the same, but it's re-upping and double down on with new vigor that how to get through this quarantine time, because we don't know how long it's will last. At the time of recording this video, it's April 4th is when I'm making the video. I'll probably cut it tomorrow, April 5th, and that's when you'll be watching it, sharing it, or looking back on it. But this thing can go to the end of the month. So we have another 4 weeks of this possibly, and who knows what's after that. So make sure you're handling your basic food and stuff, and then get down to the nitty-gritty of really coalescing, have that coalescence with your family and all your relationships, taking care of your health and your fitness, and keeping your mind sharp by reading, being careful by what you consume, not with books, and not just endless scrolling where it just leaves you right? It kind of gives you a headache after a while. You watch all the news, find the basic essentials of what you need, keep up on the protocols, and you see some states like my state, California, we're kind of leveling off. I guess we're doing our job, or for whatever reason, it's not spiking. So I probably will be having another on my trade weeks with my wife. She's going to work. She's going to be home next week, and then the following week I might be home, depending on where these things go. But hey, I did my first week of quarantine. Funny story. Maybe that's too extra to say TMI, but first day of quarantine, we had an emergency. The toilet got plugged, and it started overflowing, and it did overflow. It's just like, oh, my goodness, right? We got to take care of that, clean it up. And, it's not like you can, not that you needed a plumber, but if something emergency happens, like those kind of services might take a little bit longer because we don't have that. So be cautious of what you're doing. But then if and when things do go bad, or they don't go your way, they do go wrong, have the grace and the flexibility to adapt and snap back out of it so that you can get back on a roll, because cut your losses and move forward, because we have so much life to live and so many things, great experiences and conversations that we have that it's just like leaving money on. I just want to say, get excited, get geeked about this. I'm like, yes, right? Yes, I got the opportunity that I wanted. This is what I wanted to share, that, I can create the video. I can invest, with the mental growth, mental strength, by reading, by exercising, keeping everything intact. And this is kind of life and the lifestyle that I want and I want to live. And here's the super key big nugget. Most of you don't want to work in the job that you want to live. And so a lot of you guys are influencers, you're creators, you don't want to work that 9 to 5. So this is the opportunity to work on your craft. So when you do go back to work, you're so much more better at what you do, that you're that much closer because of this time to quitting your job and going into entrepreneurship, basically. And so use this time, because what do we have? We have our 9 to 5 that cover up so much time of our day. Then we got to come home, take care of the household responsibilities. We take care of our spouses, our children. And then we have that little bit of time that we have to use for our side hustle, right? And then we have to work on the weekends, but there's other priorities too that don't just get in the way, because it's part of life. And I know there's some projects that I would have liked to have finished a lot earlier and probably a long time ago, but that's not the number one priority in my life, even if it does bring me money or whatever, and a better income. But it's about taking care of the family. But now you have all this time to really invest in yourself, to either for the next quarter, or for the rest of the year, or something that's your ultimate lifelong goals. And so use this time. You've just been given an opportunity of a lifetime, whether it's been a week or 2 weeks, or it's going to go on for a few months or a couple months or whatever it is. So you utilize it and make the best of it. And you know why too? Because I'm seeing a lot of people post, and I'm not trying to call anybody out, but they're not doing what's the most valuable use of their time, right? That's a great question I learned from Brian Tracy. What's the most valuable use of my time right now? And they're not doing that. And I'm like, in a way, I'm like, yes, right? Some of these people too that you kind of like have a friendly competition with, trying to keep up with the Joneses, don't be one of them. You're going to surpass them. Your competition is going to get weaker because they're not capitalizing. And if your competition is doubling down in this time, then you better be sure that you're doubling down time too, not thinking that it's a break or a vacation. All right, peace. So so much more to be said. But God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you on the next video with something even better as we're continuing. This is kind of like a one-man podcast here, kind of a monologue. And so usually sometimes I have a specific idea that I want to present or some facts or information that I want to share. But this was just me talking from the heart and sharing with you on the other side of the screen there. So thank you very much. I love you, whoever and wherever you're watching from. God bless you. Thank you so much. Xavier Garcia signing out, Ultimate Psychology Channel, Love with Freedom.